Yes, let's say good morning, everyone. Today is the last week of our class, our Global Study 2, in year 2, semester 2. Your class is Generation 12, English major. So now, today is week 4, and tomorrow, when we finish part 4, sex and gender, we will have a mid-final exam. And we will have a final exam in the afternoon. In the afternoon. So for our final exam, you have to review part 3 and part 4. Part 3 and part 4. Last week we finished part 3. Part 3 we talk about the sorry. Last week we finished about deviance and social control. Deviance and social control. But this week we will start part 4, sex and gender. So now in part 4 there are 5 sections. Section 1 we will study in Saturday morning, section 2 and 3 Saturday afternoon, and section 4 and 5 Sunday morning. So now please continue to section 1. Section 1, sex and gender identity. The first point of section 1 we talk about the section preview. The section preview, it means it covers all the section 1. In here, all societies expect people to behave in certain ways based on their sex. Based on their sex. All society, it means talk about all the society in the country or in the world, expect people to behave in certain way based on their sex. Yes, on their sex mean girl or boys, something like that. Through through socialization, members of a society acquire an awareness of themselves as masculine and feminine. Feminine. The word socialization, it means it's the process of learning to behave in a way that is acceptable to society. And the word awareness, awareness here means knowledge or perception of a situation or fact. The word masculine, masculine is the male sex or gender, and feminine is the male sex or is the females. Masculine talk about the males or gender, and the feminine talk about the female or gender. Let's continue one more point. Section preview continue one more sentence. Behavioral behavioral differences between behavioral of between differences between men and women are culturally conditioned. Are culturally conditioned. The word culturally conditioned is the social process in which authority figures such as professor, politicians, religious leaders, peers, and the media define our cultural value, beliefs, ethical system, and ultimately the way we perceive ourselves in the world. And the way we perceive ourselves in the world. Continue one more point. Defining male and female. About the definition of male and female. Such is the biological distinction between male and female. Such is the biological distinction between male and female. The distinction between male and female is talk about the sex. The word biological relating to a biology or living organism. The word distinction mean distinction, I mean difference between male and female. And one more point, continue the part of defining male and female. Biological determinism. Determinism is the belief that behavioral differences are the result of physical differences. The word belief here, it means an acceptance that something exists, or we can say what it is true. Belief, it is what it is true. And the word physical differences, it means relating the body as opposed to the mind. Yeah? As opposed to the mind, it means difference of the mind. Yeah? Is the result of difference of the mind. Yeah? And the word male are able to provide and protect. Yeah? The word males, yeah, are able to provide and protect. Yeah. Male example, if you are a husband, yeah, you have to protect your family, or you have to provide or offer what you earn from outside to support your family, something like that. The word women are able to be passive. Yeah, women are able to be are able to be passive and perform domestic work. Yeah, the word passive here means accepting or allowing what happened and what others do. Yeah, what others do, and perform domestic work. Yeah, perform it means carry out, accomplish, or fulfill an action or task. It means carry out, accomplish, or fulfill an action or task. Yeah, of the house, the housework, the housework. It means the domestic work is a work within an employer's household. Employer's household. One more point. The word biological, the word biological tendency, yeah, tendency, biological tendency have been shown to be weak. Yeah, biological, as I explained you in the previous slide, is relating to be biology, or is talking about the living organism. And the word tendency is type of behavior or particular characteristic. Type of behavior or particular characteristic. Yeah, gender identity is formed by culture and it's not biological. Yeah, it's formed by culture and it's not biological. Gender identity is the personal sense of one's own gender. Gender identity is the personal sense of one's own gender. Yeah, or you can say gender identity can correlate with a person assigned sex at birth. Yeah, assigned sex at birth, or can differ from it. Yeah, this is gender identity. Gender identity in here is a form by culture and it's not biological. But the other meaning, gender identity is the personal sense of one's own gender. And one more, gender identity can correlate with a person's assigned sex at birth or can differ from it. One more point. Becoming a man or woman is a cultural process. Yeah, when we get a birth, becoming a man or woman is cultural process. Yeah, it refers to cultural process. What is cultural process means? Yeah, cultural processes comprise all procedures through which people transform the world as it is into a world of our own. Yeah, I say again, cultural process, it means the comprise all procedure through which people transform the world as it is into a world of our own. Yeah, such is biological. Yeah, biological is a living organism. Gender is cultural. Yeah, what is the word cultural and the word biological? What we learned in the previous slide about cultural, we learned in the previous part. One more point. Biology of males and female. At the moment we talk about defining male and female, but now we talk about biology of males and female. The males have like a muscle bone ratio. Yeah, males have like a muscle bone ratio. And muscle mean physical power or strength. Yeah, physical power or strength. The ratio mean proportion or correlation. Different reproductive organs produce different hormones. Different reproductive organs produce different hormones. The word organs here is a part an organism which is typically cell content and has specific vital function. The word reproductive, it means generative or sexual. And hormones, hormone is any various chemical made by living cells that influence the development, growth, sex, and extra. One more point of biology of males and females. Male brain more specialized. Talk about the male brain. Male brain more specialized. Or you can say more activity in adaptive. More activity in adaptive. The word adaptive means having an ability to change to suit different conditions. Male brain more specialized, more activity in adaptive. Evolutionary responses side of brain. Evolutionary, it means relating or denoting the process by which different kind of living organism, by which different kinds of living organism, it response side of brain. It means male brain. There are three main points: is more specialized, more activity in adaptive, and evolutionary responses side of brain. And the word female, and one more point talk about female brain. And the first male brain, and the second is female brain. Female brain tend to use both sides together. More developed region for social expression use both ear. For female brain, have to use both ear to develop region for social expression, or to use both sides together. One more point talk about biological debate. And male babies are more aggressive. Talk about the first point. Male babies are more aggressive. You know what is aggressive mean? Aggressive mean it mean is competitive. Aggressive mean it competitive, or it's really likely to attack or confront. It means competitive or ready or likely to attack or confront. Mean physical appearance. Mean physical appearance or younger mate. Appearance in here means an act of performing or participating of mean. We talk about physical, talk about physics, talk about the what mean behavior. What mean behave. Younger mate. Women slightly older, less emphasis on looks. Women slightly older. Slightly means to a small degree and not considerably older. Less emphasis. Emphasis special important in value or prominence on looks. Still unsure the extent of biology and culture. Both men and women as unsure the extent of biology and culture. The word extent, the area covered by something. One more point about sociologist perspective. In sociologist perspective, the gender's role are not fixed at birth. Gender roles, it means are not fixed at birth. It means are not fixed at birth. It doesn't mean like that. Children treated like the opposite sex by parents are easily socialized to it and resist changing back. Children treated here means behave toward or deal with in a certain way. Treated means behave towards or deal with in a certain way, like the opposite sex, like girl or opposite with boy, or boy opposite with girl, or male opposite with female. My parents are easily socialized. Socialized means having been made to behave in a way that is acceptable to a particular society. That is acceptable to be to a particular society. The word resist here, resist changing back, mean resist try to prevent by action or achievement. Try to prevent by action or achievement. One more point of sociologist perspective. There are many variations. Variation means many differences, and many many kinds within each sex. The first is competitive. Competitive, it means relating to the competition or characterized by competition. The word aggressive. Aggressive it mean ready or likely to attack, confront of women. Yeah. Submissive. Submissive it mean ready to conform to the authority or will of others. Non-competitive mean no characterized by competition. Mean. Yeah. One more point is the conclusion of sex and gender identity of section 1. The word conclusions. While biological characteristic exist, gender identity can be modified through social influences, primary group. Through social influences or through the primary group. The word modify here mean make partial or minor changes to something. The word social influences it means social influences refer to the way in which individuals change their behavior to meet the demands of a social environment. Social influences refers to the way in which individuals change their behavior to meet the demands of a social environment. Yeah. Or you can say primary group. Yeah, this is a conclusion of section 1, the sex and gender identity. Yeah. So now I finish my presentation of section 1. If you have any question, please ask me in Google Classroom or Telegram. Yeah. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.